So again, 6 to 12 inches away from the wood. If you want, you could get a shorter wand, because you want to be 75 to 90 degrees from the top, depending on your height. But then when you get to balusters inside, and you want to be further away. So maybe you're going to use 2-size guns, whatever. But the one thing you want is to be that 75 or 90. And the reason is, and this happens a lot with homes, you'll go up to a house. Most of the time, the double door, the slider is right at the back door, and we're staying away from the house, and we go on this kind of an angle. Then what happens is we get done either cleaning, or worse, we've already stained it, and the customer says, hey, everything looks good except when I'm sitting in the house, there's a black line on the top of the boards. So that's why we want to be more 75 to 90 from the top, and then about 6 to 12 inches away from the wood. You're not supposed to do it because of environmental issues, but a lot of guys use tennis balls or other things too, so they can keep this going. It's more called like a dump gun. We're not supposed to do that. So anyway, always start your wand away from it. You can turn that down a little bit. 6 to 12 inches away from the wood, and you can be further, and it's just rinsing. So all we're doing is rinsing. And we work our way across the board, coming up on each side, pendulum motion. There's 2 ways to do this. We could go board by board to not leave marks. We can do the same thing when we stain. We should. If we're going in sections though, when we're washing, because it's a long deck, just make sure you're doing what I was doing. Up and back, okay? Let's give it to the short guy and see how challenged he is with it, right? Just try to keep it up as straight up as much.
So I've done that before. I had a big deck, it was super long, and had to go back, so.
Yeah. And that's how it's done, and we can see how nice it's coming up. The idea is to get it all done now, and then when we're going to do another rinse. So rinse, rinse, rinse again. Anybody want to jump in?
Yeah, sure.
Hold up, Ivan.
All day.
Here comes the critiquing part.
Yeah, do it to me.
All you. And you'll get closer and further away depending on the growth or the stain, that kind of stuff. That's it. I would come up a little more on hardwoods. Just a little more. Not up that way, up on your, on each end, yeah. If you're gonna go, yeah, that's it, when you do that way. And just what you're doing, keep it moving all the time.
I think he might have done it.
Looks like it. Here you go. Good. What I want to show you too is, before you come over, a lot of people say don't stop and start because it'll leave marks. You can leave marks on the wood without taking it off the wood too. Not just only by being close, but by doing this. Let me do it over here. So you see the lines? And people do that. That's why it's a training deck. Do that on a customer's deck, it's a different story. So that's why it's always important to do this and come up on each end. Now you can blend that in if you ever do that. But
If you have to.
No pressure.
the idea is not to do that at all.
Yeah.
Key is a lot of us too, when we're whether you're left-handed or right-handed, you come up on one side more than you do the other. So it's kind of an idea to get more right.
I play golf, so you can get close.
There you go. It's been golfing weather up here for a while. Just what I just went back over. I'll show you on that one when he's done. You guys see all these wood fibers coming up? That's what's natural. It wants to come off.
So we're gonna rinse this, and then come back and rinse again.
Correct. before we put on the brightener. If we were to put the brightener, the question is, will we come back and rinse again? If we rinse, if we were to not rinse and just put a brightener on there, we can form that salt I was talking about. So here's what you would do to get rid of the line. I can't see it, my glasses are fogging up. I think that's the, well, no, that is right there. Watch. And you just go a little lower each time. Come up on both ends. Still a little distinguished. Now, what happens is everything's in the prep. So when you look at the wood, you don't want to see the lines or that kind of stuff because it'll look worse after you stain it, not better. Everybody thinks in their mind, they think, oh gosh, put a coating on, it's going to hide it. Not always, it can accentuate the issue. So it's all in the prep. Better, but the other thing too is, I always say this, trust the process. You'll hear me say that a lot.